Welcome back, friends, to the rolling hills and quiet wisdom of Walton's Mountain. We're stepping into Season 5, Episode 12, The Last Mustang. A story that, on the surface, is about a wild horse running free through the Virginia woods. But at its heart, it's about integrity, the cost of truth, and what it truly means to belong. It begins with a rare moment of stillness. Grandpa Zeb, John Boy, and young Jim Bob hiking up the mountain, drawn by rumors of a lone Mustang seen galloping near the riverbank. There's something almost mythical about the creature, untamed, solitary, and fiercely independent. As they watch it from a distance, Grandpa shares a quiet history lesson. Long ago, the Spanish brought the first horses to this continent, and over generations, some broke free, returned to the wild, and became the Mustangs we know today. That horse, Grandpa says with reverence, is a pure original. No man owns him, he belongs to the land. In that moment, the Mustang becomes more than an animal. It's a symbol of freedom, authenticity, and the kind of unspoiled spirit the Waltons hold dear. But back at the house, a different kind of struggle is unfolding. One not of hooves and hills, but of politics and principle. Sheriff Ep Bridges, the kind-hearted lawman who's watched over Walton's Mountain for years, is running for re-election. This time, though, he's up against Glenn Oldfield, a smooth-talking, well-dressed outsider with polished manners, a charming smile, and big city ambitions. The Walton family, of course, stands firmly behind Ep, but Olivia, ever watchful and wise, sees a threat not just to Ep's job, but to the honesty of their community. She gently urges John Boy to slant his newspaper coverage, to highlight Ep's strengths and downplay Oldfield's charm. After all, isn't it only fair to help a friend? But John Boy, now a young man deeply committed to his role as a journalist, draws a line. "Mama," he says, "I can't slant the news. If I do, I'm not a reporter. I'm just someone with an opinion and a printing press." It's a quiet declaration of ethics, one that will echo through the rest of the episode. Soon, Glenn Oldfield and his campaign manager arrive at the Walton home, not to debate policy, but to make a business proposition. They ask John Boy to reprint his neutral article about Oldfield's campaign as a paid promotional flyer. At first, John Boy hesitates. He doesn't want to appear to favor one candidate over his friend Ep. But then they offer payment, real money. And John Boy's practical side wins out. Every dollar counts when you're trying to keep a small-town paper afloat. His father, John, is equally tempted when a surprise contract arrives. Mr. Hastings, a powerful local businessman, wants him to build park benches, work John never even bid on. Then come advertising orders, letters of support, sudden opportunities. It all feels like good fortune, but Olivia senses something off. "There's always a catch," she warns. "You were giving Oldfield an advantage Ep can a T-match, and you'd be letting money blur your judgment." Her words prove prophetic. Professor Ainsley from Boatwright University arrives, eager to study the Mustang as a scientific specimen. Grandpa is appalled. "That horse ain't meant for cages or labs," he insists. "He's meant to run." But before the family can act, Ben rushes in with troubling news. Carl Muntner has already captured the Mustang and locked it in a pen outside his Rockfish hardware store, using the animal like a carnival attraction to draw in customers. The image is jarring, a symbol of wild freedom reduced to a sideshow. Meanwhile, the Baldwins host a campaign tea, a genteel affair where Glenn Oldfield shines. He plays the piano beautifully, sings with ease, and charms every guest. Ep, in contrast, stands awkwardly in the corner, uncomfortable in formal settings, his simple honesty no match for Oldfield's polish. It's a poignant reminder that in politics, and sometimes in life, style often overshadows substance. John Boy's unease grows. He visits Oldfield's campaign office and speaks with Mr. Jessup, the manager, who casually reveals the truth. Oldfield has no intention of staying in Jefferson County long-term. He sees the sheriff's office as a temporary platform, a stepping stone to run for the state assembly next year. And John Boy, he's seen as a useful ally, someone who can be rewarded with business as long as he plays along. "You could really benefit if you go along for the ride," Jessup says with a knowing smile. That's the moment John Boy makes his choice. He returns home not with bitterness, but resolve. He writes the truth, not as an attack, but as a service to his neighbors. He tells them Oldfield's real intentions, letting the voters decide with open eyes. The article runs, and the tide turns. Ep Bridges wins re-election, not because he was the flashiest, but because the people of Walton's Mountain value honesty over charm. But truth has a price. A telegram arrives for John. The park bench contract is canceled. Oldfield's supporters, embarrassed or angered by the exposure, withdraw their business. John is furious. He'd already bought the wood, planned the work, counted on that income. Olivia finds him in the workshop, tense and disappointed. She doesn't scold him. Instead, she reminds him gently, "Doing what's right doesn't always fill your pockets, John, but it fills your soul." Later, in a moment of unexpected grace, Glenn Oldfield himself comes to the Walton home. He doesn't make excuses. He apologizes sincerely for how his campaign hurt the family. "I thought people like you could be bought with favors," he admits. "I was wrong. I hope one day I can earn your support the honest way." It is a rare moment of humility from a man who is used to winning with charm, and it speaks volumes about the power of integrity to change even the most polished hearts. And then, the Mustang. The family tracks it down after it breaks free from Muntner's pen. They catch it, not to keep it, but to protect it. Grandpa, with quiet determination, heats a handmade branding iron bearing a fancy W. Ben worries it will hurt the animal, but Grandpa explains, "Sometimes you got to be a little cruel to be kind. That brand will tell every man who sees it. This horse is spoken for, not owned, but honored." With care and respect, they press the mark, then release the Mustang back into the wild. It gallops off free once more, now bearing the silent promise of the Walton name. In the end, the Last Mustang isn't just about a horse or an election. It is about the choices we make when no one is watching, about refusing to trade truth for convenience, and understanding that real freedom comes not from running away, but from standing firm in what you believe. On Walton's Mountain, that's the kind of legacy worth passing down, one quiet act of courage at a time.